This is the second in a series of videos about the Serenity Prayer. Written in the 1930s, often heard in 12-step groups, but not actually written by anyone who had anything to do with the 12-step programs. I take each one of the words in the Serenity Prayer and I look it up in a 1930s dictionary, because that is when the prayer was written. The definitions sometimes surprise me. This is a good example. When it says, grant me the serenity, blah, blah, blah. What does it mean to grant something? I certainly would have said, without looking it up in the dictionary, that grant means to be given something. You're given money. You're given power. You're given prestige. You're given something. And it's a little bit like winning the lottery or being handed a gift. And that sounds like what you're saying is, God, please give me this gift. What if I go to the Webster's Dictionary, as I did, the one that was current when the prayer was written? What does it say the word grant means? The word grant meant to agree or assent to. To agree or assent to. Not give. To assent or agree to. I had to think about that because I wanted to remember the comfort, the serenity, the guidance, the sanity that comes to me when I say the Serenity Prayer. But like any prayer, I could just repeat it over and over again until it becomes meaningless, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to hold on to the meaning of the prayer, but I realized maybe if I wanted to really hold on to it, it would be good to look it up in the original dictionary. Well, to agree or assent to, I had to think about that. God, agree to me having the serenity. God, assent to me having serenity. I thought a lot about it. I'm just a person. I know nothing special, anything you don't know about the 12 steps. But as I reflected on it, what came to mind for me was, as I listened to that definition and read that definition, reflected on it, I realized when God grants me something, or anyone grants, the government grants me something, it's because I'm qualified to receive it. I'm qualified to receive it. If I'm a farmer, I'm qualified to receive grant money for farmers. If I'm an astronaut, I'm not qualified to receive grant money for farmers. So what I began to reflect upon was that I'm not really asking to be given anything. It's actually still mine. So what you see here is a drawing of a sandy beach. And there's waves on the shore, and then there's a little distance of ocean, and then out here in the distance there's this wonderful little paradise island. Well, rather obvious in the foreground is this sort of fearsome looking pair of wooden pillars or columns with barbed wire stretched between them in the manner of just a hideous fence with spikes coming out of the ground. And from where I'm choosing to stand, it sure looks like it's preventing me from reaching this paradise. But if I've been granted something, it means that paradise has already been granted to me before I even ask for it. It's given. Please agree that you've already given me serenity. And if the answer is yes, I agree, then I'm free to walk around the obstacle and reach paradise. And that only if I choose to stand in the place of fear, only if I choose to remain where I am, will I be deprived of what has been granted to me by my higher power. So I'm free to go. That was true before I started the Serenity Prayer. That is true as I say the Serenity Prayer. That is true after I say the Serenity Prayer. I am completely free to go. God has agreed to it. God has assented to it. And it makes sense. If you think of any sense of how your higher power might be, do you think there's a chance that your higher power would actually refuse, and say, I disagree. You should not have serenity. I disagree. You should not have wisdom. I disagree. You should not have power. It doesn't make sense to me. A loving, divine creator would never say no to those things. And I believe that's why the word grant is appropriate. It's already given. It's already mine if I'm willing to take it. I'm not waiting for God to say yes. God has already said yes. There's more at 12drawings.com.